Today we are going to start the second part of theory for the concept for the topic called potentiometer. So in the previous class we have discussed the potentiometer and how potentiometer is used for finding the unknown EMF and also for comparing to EMF. And we got a formula of E1 by E2 is equal to L1 by L2 or E2 by E1 equals to L2 by E1. Don't change the order. So today we are going to see the other part of that, the potentiometer, and that is called to find the internal resistance of a cell. Now how do we do that? So to find internal resistance of a cell. So let us say that we have this as the potentiometer board, and from here to here this is my potentiometer wire. This is my driving cell, the primary EMF, whose value is always more than the one which comes as secondary EMF. Sometimes in a question this whole thing is upside down. The primary part is drawn here, secondary part is drawn here. How to identify the secondary part? From the secondary part, the galvanometer starts, the jockey starts and goes to the primary part. So that's how we can identify. And then this is your rheostat over here. And from here, this one is EMF E with some internal resistance R, and this is what I want to find out. And this is what I was saying. From here, the jockey comes over here. Now we have seen that in balanced condition, no current flows through this. Point number one. Look at this. Understand today's class very carefully. Point number one. In balanced condition, no current flows through this. If no current flows through this, I will not get a term called I small r because I is 0. So why? Since I small r, I'm saying this. This is the potential drop across internal resistance, which is zero. When this attains a balanced condition. Why it is 0? Because current flowing here it becomes 0. So from here to here I get a potential difference only because of EMF. Unless I don't get this term, I have no option to find the value of internal resistance. So what we do, we create a alternate path for EMF by providing another resistance over here, and let us say for a moment the switch is open over here. There is a switch over here S, and I create a situation like this. Now there is a role of this R naught. It's a very big role. So let's think of this way, that let us say L is the balancing length when the switch S is open. Switch S is open means this part is not there only if S is open. That means L is the balancing length for EMF E. So with S open, I have EMF. That means the potential drop across this and the potential drop across this must be same. So I can write here as AB, and this will be also equal to AB. So with S open, VA minus VB will be equal to EMF. VA minus VB will be equal to EMF because there is no current here, no current here. So this is EMF, which is also equal to. Now a current I is flowing here in the balanced condition, correct? This current flows here, this current flows here, this current flows here, flows here, flows here. So VA minus VB will be equal to I into resistance of length L, which I can now write resistance as I rho L by A. This is equation 1, more or less same what we did last time. E is equal to I rho L by A. Okay. Now let us close the switch. closed. Now the moment you close this switch over here and then you have obtained a balanced condition, let us say. So in the balanced condition, a current which was flowing in the primary, just to make it difference, just the one which flows in, just to make it distinct from the other. So the one which flows in the primary will continue to flow in the primary, and let me tell you again, this I am telling at the balanced condition. Let us say the balanced length is L dash. So what was flowing earlier will continue to flow, but at the balanced condition now, this EMF will also create some current. And if I consider this is the primary source EMF, this is EMF whose internal resistance I want to find. So in the balanced condition, this will also create a current which will flow in this loop. And in balanced condition, both will exist independently. Both will exist independently in the balanced condition. So whatever current was flowing in the primary circuit will continue to flow in the primary circuit in the balanced condition, and because of this path which I am providing to EMF E, there will be another current which flows in this circuit in the balanced condition. Remember, in unbalanced condition the current will intermix each other. That's a very important thing. When in unbalanced condition, some of the current, the whole current coming from here will not go in this direction. In the unbalanced condition, some will go in this direction, will come with this, these two will add up. Okay, just imagine like this. This is coming here and the whole thing is not going over there. Part goes there, part goes here. Okay, and from here I am getting another current. This is my another current. So this is my another current which comes over here. They both go over here. Okay, and then this goes in this direction, this comes in this direction. From here this was coming, and then this whole current comes. So all those things happens. You can think of that peacefully also later, but it is not at all important. The important part is in the balanced condition, this becomes independent, this becomes independent. Both live independently, happily each other. Both live happily independently with current, some current there and some current here. So let me call this current as I dash. How much is that I dash? That I dash will be equal to, now if you look at this part has an EMF of E, it has a resistance of R0 and small r. So EMF E divided by resistance R0 plus R. This is the I dash current which is flowing in this circuit. Now in the balanced condition, potential drop across this must be equal to potential drop across this. Potential drop across this from A to B will be equal to EMF minus I times of R. Okay, if I go with the Kirchhoff's law rule, if you are going from here to here, you will write this as negative, na? Because it is going from plus to minus, so you will write this as negative, and this you are coming upstream against the flow of current, so you will write this as positive. I have no problem. But at the same time, when you are going from here to here, this also you are going downstream from high potential to low potential. So this also you have to write negative. So minus I times of RL dash, where L dash is the balancing length in the new case. So this is what I am saying. Potential drop across this and potential drop across this must be same. I will repeat again. So from A to B, if I go from here to here, I will get this plus 2 minus. That means I am going downstream. So minus. Okay. And then when I am crossing R, I am crossing R against the current. That means current is going like this. I am crossing like this. So I am going upstream. Upstream means plus IR. And now if I go from here to here, this is downstream because I am going in the direction of current. So minus I times of RL dash. And now if I slightly readjust the minus and plus over here, this I can now write as EMF minus IR is equal to I times of RL dash, and that is equal to EMF minus IR equals to sorry, this one is I dash, this one is I dash, this one is I dash, okay, and this is I, this one is I dash times of R, whereas here this is I times of RL, this is I dash. So I dash into R equal to I into RL dash. RL dash I can write as rho L dash by A. call this as equation 2. Call this as equation 3. Put the value of 1 and 2 in 3. How? Like this. Okay. I'm going to put the value of I dash here. What is I dash? E. I hope this is visible to everybody. This is I dash and then R. So what is I dash? I dash will be equal to E R naught plus R. So the first term is EMF E minus E divided by R naught plus R naught plus R, and there is a small r here multiplied, so there is small r over here. This is the value of I equals to I times of R. So I, what is I? Okay, we can put the entire value. Can you see I rho by A here? What is I rho by A? I rho by A is E by L. And can you see I rho by A over here? So I can put the value of I rho by A as EMF by L and then multiplied by L dash. Now I can take EMF common. So if I take EMF common, EMF will get cancelled out. So this will become I1 R naught plus R is equal to L dash by L. And then if I continue this, if I solve this more than from here onwards, I will get the value of Rs. Upon solving, I will get the value of Rs, internal resistance as capital R, that one. Okay, in the notes I have taken this as R naught and I have taken this as R. Okay, so just make sure you are following this part. So this is your R, so I am making this as R. This R appears here as R and this R appears here as R. Okay, so R will be equal to R. This becomes an L divided by L dash minus 1. You can just simplify from here. I don't have space, so I am not doing it. Okay? I don't want to rub this because it has many information which I want to share with you. So R is equal to R L dash minus 1. Now remember one thing over here, the first important thing is this R has to be positive, resistance has to be positive, resistance cannot be negative. Now if resistance has to be positive, it means that this ratio, the L by L dash, must be more than 1, otherwise it becomes negative. So L by L dash, if it is more than 1, it means L is more than L dash. What was L? L was the balancing length when the switch was open. So when it was open, L was balancing our length, which was equivalent of balancing our EMF of E. When I switch on the circuit, this circuit, that the balancing length becomes L dash. And what was the role of L dash? L dash was balancing EMF minus I dash R. That means the balancing length L dash here will be less, because on the right hand side it has to balance not EMF but EMF minus I dash R. Okay. So this value EMF minus I dash R is less than EMF. So this term is getting subtracted. So that means L dash is less than L, and that has to be less. Otherwise your internal resistance becomes negative, and internal resistance cannot be negative. Okay. So this is the thing which you need to know. In the next video I will discuss how to solve numericals. You just make a note of this, and this is the circuit diagram which we draw to find the internal resistance. Okay, and this R is not the resistance of the rheostat. Let me again put this R is the R which we put across the EMF, so that a current is flow in the circuit and we get some potential drop here, so that it appears in the equation, and so that using maths we can get that value over there. Okay, thank you for watching.